Hi, it's Ollie Betteridge here, and you're listening to the Cat's Whiskers podcast.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you happen to be picking this podcast up. We are absolutely thrilled that we have a special guest on today. So myself and Adam, hello.
Hello.
We are in the presence of a bit of a Panthers legend, I think it's fair to say. And given the fact that he's got a testimonial coming up, I think I am fairly measured in saying that. So we would like to welcome Ollie Betteridge to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Hot off the heels of a BBC interview with Aaron Verma, who's nicked a fair few of our questions, by the way. But, we'll press on.
Playing second fiddle to the BBC.
I mean, we can do that. Yeah. We can do that. It's absolutely fine. So, Aaron was asking you some questions, Ollie, around your origin story, basically. I just want to sort of expand on that a little bit. You know, obviously you talked about the excitement that you had at the rink as a young boy, and how your parents moved heaven and earth, literally, to get you playing. But you know, we know Canadians are born with skates on practically, and I believe I asked this question to Jordan when we interviewed him just before playoffs earlier this year. But what got you into hockey over the more traditional UK sports market?
I think... Do you want me to hold it?
No, it's fine.
I think when... you play all sports growing up, like you'll try football, it's just natural, isn't it, that you'll always play football at school. And my grandma used to take me to watch the Bracknell Bees play, and I would have only been probably the same age as my little boy now, around 2 years old. And it was one sport that I was almost like just fixated to. Like I couldn't... I mean, my favourite part at that age was the warm-up, which is exactly the same as my little boy. Like just seeing the pucks hit the glass and be pinged around everywhere. That was like... enjoying a game and just the whole interaction with the fans, the music, just the crowd, the goals. I just think being so young, it was just, you just so mesmerised by it, and like I couldn't get away from it. And then I was like sleeping in my jerseys, I was pretending to be a goalie, like I had my goalie pads on with a hockey stick, helmets all the time. And just as I grew up, it was just something that I loved more and more and more. And obviously I never thought that it would take me to Nottingham or be able to play professionally or even be able to say I've got a testimonial. Like it was something that I never thought was going to happen. I just loved the sport so much. Like it was just a hobby. And over the years you kind of realise, and then obviously got that opportunity with Clarkey through his Plo Clinic, and it's just, it's been a roller coaster, and one that I'm thankful for. And it's one of the best amazing things that's ever happened.
So it's that's really, really interesting. It's quite sad actually that Bracknell Ice Rink's not there anymore now. I don't think.
Nike
Got knocked down, didn't it, a couple of years ago, which is sad. But at what age, Ollie, did you sort of like think? And you can sort of pat yourself on the back here a little bit. But did you think I am quite good at this? I think there might be something in it for me. In terms of a pro career.
I think it's kind of hard. I mean, I started skating at an early age, and I was around 4 years old where I was just glued to the ice and I wouldn't ever get off. Like I would go to every public session and just do anything that I could, not always in equipment, I'd just be around skating just non-stop. And I think, I'm trying to think what age maybe. I think when I've realised I'd actually maybe got something that I could do something with was definitely around the ages of 12 to 14 was when you start scoring a lot of goals, and it's kind of, not that but then all of a sudden it's like, okay, maybe I am okay at this. And and then obviously I did the Clarkin camp, and then you go against professionals. And then at 14 years old, like Corey was still playing at the time, but as also the coach, is then you're playing with Clarkey in the like just scoring goals left, right, and centre. You're still you're a young kid who's not developed. You're so small. Like I was probably 60 kilos wet through. So it was. I think then's the realisation that okay, I've got something, but there's a lot more to be able to become a professional and actually be able to do this. And that's kind of where being picked up at that age really developed me, not only on the ice but off the ice, because off the ice, I needed to definitely put on a bit more weight and try and counteract that with keeping the same speed and everything else. And then obviously there's a lot of video coaching, there's a lot of other stuff to it. So I think from that age of 12 to 14, I definitely developed more not only as a person, but I think as like an individual, not just with hockey, but off the ice too, whether that be just your general day-to-day habits and stuff like that. And that's kind of just where it all kind of kicked in, I would say.
So, I mean, in the interview that you did with Aaron on BBC, you talked about, obviously that Clarkco hockey camp that you went to, and Corey Nielsen being interested in inviting you to play for the Panthers. But they're obviously inspirational figures in your career. So is there anybody else that has really made an impact, or is there somebody that you've kind of modelled your game on since then?
That is a really good question. Like, kind of modelled my game on is I was always like a prolific goal scorer as a kid. Like you was always the guy, the go-to guy to put the back in the net, put the puck back in the net. Sorry. But then when you do sign professionally and you play at Nottingham, that's not necessarily what I'm going to do. I'm probably not going to score 30, 40, 50 goals a year like you are in juniors, and that's where you have to really adapt your game. So like for me was trying to specialise in just basically being really good on the PK, defensively strong, and trying to give myself any opportunity to gain ice time. Because at a young age, like if you're not always on the ice to score goals, you need to try and do something that you are providing for the team. So that was definitely something that I tried to base around my game. And then over the years, you just try and implement more of that other side of your game that you're growing up to, like the goal scoring and stuff. Like once you gain more ice time, more trust, more things through coaches, then hopefully you can start to do more of that as your career develops. But basing my game on someone, I wouldn't necessarily say. I used to love watching Crosby as a growing up. I used to love the way he played the game. Like that was just something that.
Easy.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish it came that easy.
Yeah, most definitely.
Was it sort of easy to make that transition, Ollie, from being somebody that always lit the lamp, the go-to guy for scoring, to sort of playing with a bit more defensive responsibility, thinking about your sort of positioning on the ice, joining in with a D perhaps. How difficult was that?
It is difficult. It's just you would do anything to play professional hockey and that be what you do, and that's at that time, especially a lot of guys growing up, like some obviously look in the NHL, like a lot of the times they go straight into a top six role and go and play loads of minutes and score loads of goals, but not always is that the case. And for me, it was one thing that I just wanted to. Like Corey worked really closely with me. Like I think I was the 13th forward my first year in Nottingham, and then I got the opportunity to play in his top 12. And then for me, he wanted being really good on the PK and being really defensively strong, and obviously producing when you got given your chances. And I think I wanted to do that. Like I took pride in everything about that, and for me that became a lot of what I did over a good few years, and it'll always be a part of my game. And it's one thing I'm glad I did it, because it gives you so many, whether it's a tight game, you're up 1, you're down 1, is like you're always going to be used, and it's always it's a special thing. And obviously working closely with a lot of the players throughout that year, so I think we had so many Brits. There was myself, Clarkey, Steve, Farms, Sam Oakford, Dan Green. I feel bad if I'm missing anyone, but Matthew Myers. There you go. And to learn off of them, they're obviously a little bit older than me, but to learn off of them throughout those years they took me under their wing, and Clarkey especially, he would really try and just help my game, whether that be on the ice, off the ice, and they always helped me out because I was so young. And then over time we've just become best of friends.
Yeah. So we'll fast forward a little bit. We'll again talked about it when you were at the BBC. Your first games for Panthers. Now I vividly remember your first game at home.
Yeah.
Wasn't in Belfast, but there was a lot of buzz around it. Gary Moran certainly made a massive deal of it on the DVD. Days before the webcasts. Check that one out with your parents' kids. But how did you? were you aware of that buzz, and you know, did you kind of feed off it? You know, how were those first 2 games? You know, because like you already said, we had to wait until you were 16, you know, before we could get you playing for Panthers.
It's kind of, I don't even know. Do you know what? I was probably, maybe didn't know as much buzz was going around, but I was definitely the most excited human you'll ever see. That's for sure. I couldn't sleep for a week before that, and I was probably super nervous. No, it was 2 years of practicing and still playing the juniors, and then the 16th, Gary tried to do it before, so Gary tried his hardest so it would be like before your 16th birthday, but obviously it didn't happen. So once I hit 16, it was, I didn't know I was going to play actually on those days, and then Corey and Gary were like, you're going to go play in Belfast, and that was the first time I'd obviously ever been around the group for a game.
Nerves?
No, the nerves, no. Yeah, oh no. I was probably still shaking by the time we were on the flight home. No, it was, I mean, I don't even know if I could explain the atmosphere. I think it's just trying to, those first games, I think you just try and take everything in, especially being so young. It's you just like, you just look up and there's 5,000 to 7,000 people around you, and you're just like, wow, this is cool. And then obviously the game at home was against Fife, and all my family came, and it was like in the newspaper articles. Like I pretty cool going to school the next day. I did feel good. Yeah, I was just looking up, and it was just, I think I can't remember how many minutes or shifts that I played, but it was, I think I definitely had a shot on goal, because it might have been the loudest I've heard anyone scream for me at that time. So that was pretty special.
Your biggest fans are always your family, though, to be fair. So just another memorable game that I certainly remember that you had. You were drafted in for the CHL on a line with Jordan County and Lewis Hook. I mean, again, levels of excitement must have been peak, and how, you know, because you probably weren't that familiar with the 2 guys, but you know, you played really well on a line, as I recall.
I think what was lucky is I played all my GB juniors with both Hooky and Hooky was actually on the pro clinic with us as well. So like we were growing up together playing at that time, and we were all practicing with Nottingham, and I think we had 3 lines at the time, so we were the 4th line, me, County and Hooky, and I remember all, it was, nerves, as you say. Again, I was probably jittery then too, so, but no, that was a pretty cool special memory to share with both of them too.
I can definitely remember that, and just thinking, you know, you didn't look out of place, the 3 of you, and it was a great game to watch. It was absolutely fantastic.
It's just such a good experience. I think like it's sometimes you go from playing junior hockey and straight into senior hockey, and it's not always easy. And I think to be able to feel, I think that's when you get a bit of confidence too, where you get your first shift under your belt, you either get hit, make a hit, or whatever that may be, and sometimes that just gets you straight into the game. And for us being so young, it probably gave us that little bit of confidence that okay, we can play this game and we can do okay. So that was a pretty cool memory. And then I think we did the away trip too, went to Hamburg all together too, and played the Hamburg Freezers. So that was also a crazy atmosphere. That was I remember them jumping behind the glass, and you probably, if you were there too, it was just
I was there.
Bouncing around. So that was cool.
Yeah, I mean, at Hamburg, they sort of went to great lengths to kind of make us feel welcome, which was a little bit odd for European hockey, you know, because you sort of expect it to be quite hostile, but they were the friendliest fans, and it was really, really good. So, just while I'm sort of touching on European hockey, you briefly spoke about your year in Hungary, and how, you know, that kind of experience it gave you something outside of playing in the UK. How do you think that changed your game?
I don't know if it necessarily changed my game, but it was, you played a little bit of a different style over there, and it was something, going to Budapest originally was something that I think when you finish playing hockey, it would be something that you wish you did, just being able to play in Europe and say that you gave it a go and see where it can take you. And for me, it was an unbelievable experience. I mean, we did extremely well. I think we won the Hungarian Championship, and then we lost in Game 7 of the final. So that was pretty gutting. So, but it was a great experience. Like it's kind of, the way it changes your game a little bit is you need to produce a little bit more. So you're given you try and produce every night, and that's and if you're not, then it's a little bit of a different pressure. So But I think overall, like, it's hard to say it maybe changed my game, but it definitely I tried to and become maybe more, maybe trying to find the word really, maybe like just trying to put myself in more of a situation to play, say, top line while I was over there. So that was kind of how it was.
Did you ever think about staying there? Was the experience ever good enough to tempt you to stay?
It was good, and I loved it. And don't get me wrong, it would have been awesome. But for me, Nottingham's my home. Nottingham's home for me. There's nowhere else I'd rather play. This is not only is it one of the best clubs in the league, it's where my family's from too, and it's one that I love the organisation. I love playing for the club, love playing in front of our fans, and I don't think I could replicate that anywhere else too. So like, as much as Europe was amazing, I loved it. Also, my little boy was born the year after as well, so being at home with the family and being able to play in such my hometown now, and that's for me, that's more than anything, and being able to represent the club and play in front of our fans that's one of the biggest things for me.
Yeah, home is where the heart is.
Yeah. Do you think, Ollie, that more Brits ought to sort of venture overseas to help with their sort of hockey development? And I know that you said that, you know, you didn't necessarily change as a player, you know, in your year over there in Hungary, but just to sort of like experience different styles of hockey. And you know, I follow GB, you know, the Worlds, and it's been really interesting the last few years to see different styles of hockey from the different nations, and it's been great for GB to be sort of up there in the top pool of world hockey. So I know we don't generally export many Brits, you know, senior Brits that is, but do you think it might be something if GB wants to sort of get to that next level and sort of stay in the world champs year after year after year after year, for guys to go out there and sort of play in different domestic leagues around Europe?
I think it can be a bit of both. It can be also awesome to see different places, play in Europe, but I think so many different teams have so many different styles of play. Like whether you're playing in the UK, like the elite league's definitely it's definitely one of the best leagues in Europe. Like it's unbelievable, the fan bases, the way the league's played, the import amount. It's a fantastic league, and I think for young Brits getting into Europe, I think it all depends. I think it's a great thing to be able to experience, great thing to do, and if you get different opportunities, I think it's definitely one that you should take. And whether that be, I'm not saying do that, and maybe instead of staying in Nottingham and stuff, but I think being able to experience different stuff is definitely a thing, especially while you're young too, is definitely to experience it and try out the different cultures and be given different situations, whether that be, say, more power play time or whatever that may be, wherever you go. It's a pretty cool experience to get under your belt and be put in different situations. And I mean, if someone wants to stay in the UK, then the league in the UK is fantastic, and if anything, it's probably one of the best. So,
well, we're happy that you're back from Hungary and playing every week at the Motorpoint next door.
Yeah, 100%. Well, we've just talked about GB, so let's we've got a few questions relating to that. So, obviously, we're sort of getting to a point now where we're seeing some of the mainstay Brits, you know, coming to the end of their careers. So, having just played in the tournament you've just played in, there's a lot of younger, well, I'm saying younger like Ollie's an old bloke, but he's not. So, and I mean, you sort of have to, you know, keep reminding yourself as a fan that, you know, despite how long you've been with the club, you are still a young man. But
Thank you.
Not
30 till January.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. The hangovers hit differently after 30, mate. Yeah, if nothing else. I've kind of lost my thread. No. So you've just been away at this tournament with a lot of younger players who, you know, the coaching staff obviously want to have a look at for future tournaments. So, I mean, with that in mind, and what you possibly already know from people that you've played with or people that you're aware of coming through the system, how do you feel about the future of GB hockey?
It's incredible. I mean, that tournament last week we did exceptional. Like, it was, apart from we had a little blip in maybe the first game where we were like 3-0 down in a few minutes, but other than that, it was, I think we grew into the tournament not only as a group but individuals too. So I think for me personally, I think we took a lot of strides in being able to play together, and a lot of guys, that is their first time playing international hockey, or it could be their first time playing for the men's team, and it's it was definitely it was amazing. Like it was great to be able to work with everyone, and myself included. It was a great experience, and it was one that I think by the end of the tournament, it's one that every player and management could be proud of. And we were unlucky to probably could have maybe snuck one against Italy, and then we obviously lost 1-0 to Poland, which we had plenty of chances to maybe either tie the game or win the game. So as a group, it was a great experience, and the youth development is, we have some amazing young players coming up, so I'm not too worried about that whatsoever.
Any particular ones to watch? Anybody you think had a really good tournament under your stewardship as captain? Let's just get that one out there. Yes.
I mean, I don't really know if I could single anyone out. Like I'd be just saying, like, there's every single player that put that jersey on played it with pride, played with heart, and played throughout the whole tournament. And everyone was. I don't want to just single one person out, because I think as a collective group that everyone bought into the same thing for 1 week, and I just think it was. I think it was fantastic, and it was really good to work with every person that was involved.
Yeah.
So what was captaincy like?
That was, do you know, any time you get to put on the GB jersey, that's just an honour in itself. Like, that's always a great experience. But to be able to be named captain of your country it's kind of hard to put into words or say it out loud. It's just such a nice feeling, a great feeling. It's a proud memory, and to be able to captaincy your country is one that you always dream of doing. So,
yeah, awesome. Most definitely. So, let's sort of go back into domestic a little bit. Well, maybe we'll not completely strike GB out, but are there any particularly memorable games that you've had either for Panthers or GB, other than ones we've already talked about, obviously, because obviously your first games, the CHL games, and as I say, captaining a GB team, that's all pretty memorable, and that's. Your coffers are kind of full at that point, but are there any others that kind of stick out to you?
I think the Burn game in Nottingham for the CHL, we made it to the round of 16.
That was amazing.
I don't know if, still to this day, I don't know if I've ever heard our building. It was I can't even put it to words. It was insane. It was amazing. Apart from that, there's so many. I mean, you can't take away the playoff championship the way that won last year. Like that was, I mean, that still feels like yesterday. It's not often you win a game, lose a game, then win a game. So that was cool, and that was a special one for me. Obviously, being able to hold my little boy when we just won the championship. So that has to be one of the all-time memories for me. But other games, definitely the CHL one with Burn. The winning the Challenge Cup when we played Cardiff in Sheffield, that was pretty special. And I just remember
we were there for that as well.
Yeah, I just remember Mo skating down the ice and jumping on Mika. That was and then we won the playoffs that year too. Yes. So that was also a special one. And then obviously the Continental Cup, winning that in Riton, that was pretty cool. So I could just keep going on and on about games.
Well, I mean, you've got a testimonial for 10 years service, but it's actually longer than that. There's so much for you to draw on at such a young age. There you go. You can have that one as well. Okay, let's get into a bit of quick fire. So, most motivational player you've played with?
Cam Jansen.
Oh, I was hoping you were going to say that. Yeah. Tell us a bit of a story about Cam.
A bit of a story about. I mean, there's not too many stories. He was such an amazing character from not only the fans, the locker room, the organisation, the city. He was great to everyone too, and loved working with him, loved being with him. And there's not many. I just remember maybe I can't remember whose testimonial was it that Cam was here for, where he dressed up and he had his. Yeah, it might have been. And who did he dress up as? I can't remember.
It was,
now.
Wasn't it Hulk Hogan?
That was it. Yeah, there you go. That was it.
I've got a picture of that somewhere.
Yeah, I think I've still got it. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah.
Okay. Best locker room DJ over the course of your career?
I'm gonna say Tets right now. Josh Tetlow.
What's his musical style?
Do you know what? He can pretty much play anything. He likes to change it up. There's no just one genre. He's a bit of everything.
Okay, go on.
Who's the best practical joker that you've shared a locker room with?
Oh, David Ling.
Again, that doesn't surprise me.
That is not a shock. Go on, any stories to come from that? Because I mean, David Ling was a guy with
Any that are
stories.
broadcastable?
I mean, there's a lot of stuff. There's I don't know if I can get into too many. So
Yeah, well, let's leave it there. This is a PG podcast. So who's the most fashionable player you've ever played with?
Eric Lindhagen.
Ooh. I am so glad you said that.
Oh.
But
His
then
style. Do you know what? He had some of the best style. Do you know, there's a lot of guys. Who else had really good style? I mean, I kind of have to give it to him, Eric, because his style was fantastic. He always knew what to wear all the time.
On the flip side to that,
some tips, but I don't think I'm cool enough to be like that. Yeah,
very stylish guy. On the flip side to that, who is the worst dressed that you've played with?
No comment.
You're not going to chuck anybody under the bus.
No, definitely not.
I was looking forward to a bit of trash talk in there. Well, I mean, I suppose I kind of had this question in mind with somebody who Ollie's already said, but best flow.
Best flow. Oh, I mean, Caruso had some good flow, but I don't think you can take off Steve Lee.
Okay.
That is a good head of hair. Steve has a great head of hair.
They're not the names Tina were looking for.
No, it's not at all. I
mean, Eric Lindhagen did have some of the best hair,
course,
but I've already said him for
exactly.
best style.
So we've got to give it to somebody else. Okay. Good. Do you want to take the next one?
Well, I think we're sort of we've covered it a little bit, but who had the best sort of stories from their hockey career?
Good storyteller. Who always had a story for everything?
I think stories. I quite always like listening to Cam talk about their time in the NHL, same as Brian McGrattan, same as Chris Stewart, and I was lucky enough to spend some time with his brother Anthony Stewart in the lockout year too. Yeah. So I think just being able to hear their stories, and Jeff Brown too. So I've been at Connor Brown, his brother's been over a few times, and he's played golf with us, and to hear some of the stories about how they've worked with guys in NHL or different and players that you've grew up to wanting to be. So for me, being Crosby, McDavid he's played with McDavid last year, so being able to hear some of their stories, and not so much the jokes and stuff, but it's just amazing to hear how they go about their business day to day and just their lives in the NHL. So I think hearing their side of their life stories, how they grew up, how they got into hockey, what got them motivated, and that type of stuff is definitely I love listening to. So yeah. Okay.
Most naturally gifted goal scorer, the guy who you were really jealous of when you got to seniors. Obviously, as you've already said, you were a prolific goal scorer in junior, but somebody who you would just go, man, wish I had that.
I don't think there's anyone else than our number 5, is there? He knows how to put the puck in the back of the net, doesn't he?
Absolutely. Glad all over. Go on then.
Switching to the other end of the ice, who's the defenseman that you would have most hated to play against?
Defenseman most hated? Steve. I hated going against Steve, because there's not much he could really do. He was so defensively strong. He could fight, he could hit, he's positionally perfect, he's amazing on the PK, he can play on the power play if you wanted him to, and he was definitely one that I didn't enjoy going against. Or I'm trying to who else didn't I really like going against? D-Man. He put me on the spot here. I'm trying to think. D-Man,
that's kind of the point. We wanted quick fire answers.
Yeah. This one's not quick fire though. This is more slow fire this time. I'm not sure who to say.
Steve's fine. That's you can. That's an award that Stevie Lee can hold high. Quite frankly. Go on. Yeah. So this was kind of inspired. This next question by Craig Kowalski, I have to say, right? Because he always used to terrify me when he went wandering to play the puck in the corners and such.
He knew how to play it though, didn't he?
Well, yes, thankfully he did. But which goalie would you have been terrified to play with pre-trapezoid?
Oh, you probably said the one. You probably,
since the introduction of the trapezoid, we've had some very good goalies playing for Panthers.
I was going to say, I think it's I love it when I see the goal. It helps so much too. And in today's game, if a goalie comes out like both of our goalies now, and the goalies we've had in the past, they've always been so good at playing the puck. And as a forward as well, especially a D-man going back, it's definitely helpful. But you've got 3 people back there being able to play the puck. So, watching killer score that goal when it was that was a cool one, wasn't it? So,
yeah, that was absolutely fantastic. That's definitely one of those you can, I was there kind of moments. Yeah, definitely.
So who's the guy then that took training just way too seriously?
Took training too seriously.
See, I again, this is one that I put in, and I just want to clarify and quantify it. So I'm a Bruins fan, and I've just been watching Zdeno Chara being inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame, and Patrice Bergeron's Chara story was basically him getting pounded in the corner in practice and feeling like he'd had gone 10 rounds to Tyson, and then Chara just coming up to him and going, "Good job, buddy."
I honestly, I think that's probably one of the best things that we've had over the last good amount of years that I've been in Nottingham is how hard practice can be, and the battle, and because I think we battle in practice every day, and I think it's hard to say one person is that hardest person, but like the actual competitiveness of actually one-on-one battles in practice, like guys are hitting, they are cross-checking, and not always does it feel great on a Wednesday midweek of practice, but you practice how you play, and I think over the years that culture's been brought into Nottingham, and I think that's definitely helped us.
Yeah, most definitely.
Well, next question. So, which player you've played with previously would you like to add to the current Panthers roster?
There's so many.
I mean, you can reel off a few if it's going to be too difficult to single one out.
I think it's. I mean, you could. Just because we're all good friends too, you'd bring back Hersey, wouldn't you? No.
100%. Yeah, 100%. In fact,
Hersey come back.
Well, in fact, we're planning to bring him back on the podcast. So I mean, it's not over yet.
I think. Our team is fantastic. Bringing back so many returnee guys is such a big positive to start the season, and it almost builds that like family atmosphere. So like as soon as you start the year, it's like you started the day after playoffs finish. So like there's already that chemistry. Everyone's working well with Stewie, and then all the new guys have integrated really well, and it's like that really close bond and family atmosphere. So bringing one individual back in, not necessarily, but if you were just talking for terms, I'm going to bring back Steve. Let's bring back Mizey, Clarkey, let's bring them all back.
Yeah, let's get the band back together. So just on a sort of related note, who wasn't able, because people have got lives and everything, who wasn't able to be at your testimonial, who you really wanted to be there?
Sam couldn't make it.
Yeah, well, he's still getting used to his job, isn't he? It's not like he can ask for annual leave already.
Yeah, and Cam can't make it.
Oh, what a shame.
So that would have been cool. There's a few others, but I don't want to name too many. But it was, the group that we have got coming back, and obviously the guys that can't make it, I'll still speak to them every day, and it's like I wish they were coming. They wish they were going to come too. So I'm sure we'll catch up soon anyway. So.
Okay, just we're getting to the end of the questions. I promise, and then you are. Look, you've not run away yet, so
absolutely.
and you've not waved a white flag or anything, so we're happy enough. So, who's taught you the most valuable lessons in hockey, and what were they?
I think working closely with Corey growing up, that's got to be the biggest one. Is I think he always had his five things, and we still teach them, the kids now, and I don't know if I'm going to go through them just in case I get them wrong.
Well, that's a spoiler alert, isn't it? So if anybody wants to know what those 5 things are, then they got to get involved.
Yeah. So he's always taught me some really good lessons, and not only on the ice but off the ice, and developing as a human. And I think that's helped me a lot in my career, not only just on the ice but off the ice too. So I do have a lot to thank to him. I've been with Corey from the age of 14 years old until the day that he left. So it was, for me, we've become really good friends off the ice now, and I still look at him as sometimes for advice or something, for whether it can be whatever that may be. But no, I've worked closely with him, and then Clarkey's taught me some good lessons, and working closely with them. And I think, and then even now you're still learning day to day, and it can be anything from whether it's happening in Nottingham, and it can be like daily advice from, say, Stewie, or it can be from Pete Russell, a national team. So I think definitely growing up, those life lessons, the helpful comments, like sometimes the negativity I would never say negativity, because they're never negative. They're always positive, and they're always like trying to keep you accountable to be the best version of yourself on the ice.
Yeah, criticism, I think, is probably the word.
I
bit
think
closer to what you're looking for.
So like sometimes I think it's more, and that helps you when you go on the ice. Like it's always, if you have a good shift, a bad shift, you have a good day, a bad day, whatever that may be, I think always being able to be just finishing strong and being able to, and I think that's definitely one of the biggest things.
Yeah, most definitely.
This one's a bit deep and meaningful, but how has becoming a dad sort of changed your perspective on hockey and on life in general?
Do you know what? And that is a great question. I think the easiest way to sum that up is, no matter whether you've had the best day ever or the worst day, he doesn't care. He's still going to run up to you with open arms and go, "Daddy!" And I think no matter what, I think that, and then seeing him down at the glass every game, I think it's such a special feeling, is being able to, like, that's my little boy watching the game, and I'm so proud of him, and he's a little angel. And yeah, I think being a dad is, I love every minute. Sometimes you can be tired, as you probably can relate. So, but no, I think just him, whether you have an amazing day, whether you've scored loads, you've won a load of games, or you've just not had the best night, they love you as much as you did whether win or lose. So I think that for me is fantastic.
Oh, we're chopping onions around the table.
Yeah. It's a bit dusty in here. So just sort of related to that, fast forward a few years. I don't want to take any years away from you, but just imagine, setting the scene. Maybe sort of 10, 12 years time, your lad comes to you and says, "Dad, I want to be a professional hockey player." Are you going to be in support of that? And what advice are you going to give him?
I'll always support him. If he wants to play hockey, I'll give him every opportunity that he wants to play hockey that I can help. And that's the thing, is the advice I would give him is just enjoy it. It's a hobby. Like, for anyone that is listening and wanting to get into hockey, or being young and thinking about what to do next, it's that enjoyment, is love going to the rink every single day. It's fun. Like, we all do it because we love it, and I think that's one of the biggest things I learned as a kid, is if you're loving it, then there's nothing else to it. You just love what you do. So I think that, other than anything else, is just enjoy it, love it, be present, and just yeah.
Oh God, will you stop it, man?
More onions.
More onions.
Well, this one's an incredibly open-ended question, Ollie, but what lies ahead?
What more is there for Ollie Betteridge?
I hope there is a lot more years left in Ollie Betteridge. I do feel young, so I hope there's a lot more years left.
I know.
And yeah, I want to win championships. I want to win trophies, and just keep building what we keep building on. And yeah, I'm hoping there's a lot more years left in me. And yeah,
fantastic. Right, Ollie, thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure to sit across from you, and thank you very much for coming on the podcast.
No, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure talking to you both.
Fabulous. From myself and Adam,
Thanks, Ollie.
thank you very much once again. Thanks for listening, guys, and we'll see you next time with Business as Usual, TTFN.
Wow.